To Jakarta, Indonesia, thousands of people attempted to break the Guinness World Record with an Indonesia line dance called Poko Poko ahead of the Asian Games that will kick off later this month. At least 65,000 people lined the 5-mile stretch from the National Palace to the business district in Jakarta during the weekly Car-Free Day event in the capital. Once a week, they have no cars are allowed. Gainesville getting in line here to do the Poko Poko.
Completely in sync, too. It looks cool.
Yeah, it is cool. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, a large-scale outage is causing counties to be without 911 service. We'll have the latest.
Plus, police are still looking for a suspect who fired multiple shots inside a radio station. What investigators are saying about that shooting.
And a temporary policy at an apartment complex in Madison is up some tenants.
This is News 3 at 5.
Topping our news at 5, Janesville police officers have recovered a body from the Rock River.
Police say they were called to the Rock River near the Centerway Street Bridge around 2:15 this afternoon. A person was walking by the river and reported seeing a body.
Officers and the Janesville Fire Department helped recover the body. They say it is a male, about 65 years or older. Police say there are no reports of missing or endangered people from the area.
They're continuing to investigate and say at this point they do not know the identity of the man. People in Adams, Columbia, Juneau, and Marquette counties are without a direct 911 line today.
The outage started a little after noon today, and right now we don't know when it will be resolved. Amy Reed has been looking into this, and she's live with us in Columbia County with the latest. Amy.
Yeah, it's been a stressful day for dispatchers here in Columbia County and the 3 other counties that are affected by this. Now, when you first drive in, like we did, you get this alert on your phone. Emergency alert, 911 system currently not functional in Columbia County. Then it gives you the number for the non-emergency line, which is what they want you to call. Now, once people call that number and press through the options, the call functions the same. They'll link you to dispatch, who can get services to you. Now, the county sheriff's office told me they don't know exactly what happened. Frontier Communications is the company in charge of these lines, and that company is working out the problem now. Now, we are in contact with them, but they haven't yet been able to tell us exactly what caused the outage or how long it will go. Now, while we continue to look into it and while Frontier tries to solve it, the counties need you to call up on the screen for you. This is for Adams, Columbia, Juneau, and Marquette counties. If you have an emergency that you would normally call 911 for, give those numbers a call instead. If you call 911, you will get a busy signal. Now, police hope this won't last much longer. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be fixed soon. Amy Reed live in Columbia County. Thank you.
Madison police are looking for 2 juveniles who were found armed inside Warner Park. Police say it happened in the 2900 block of Warner Avenue around 7:15 last night. Madison police say a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old were at the duck pond. A worker told the boys they needed to go outside, and then the older boy pulled out a handgun from his pants, and both of them ran away. Officials say he did not point the gun at the worker.
A Rock County man is facing his 8th drunken driving charge after police found him standing in a roundabout. Deputies were sent around 2 Sunday morning in the area of North Interstate 43 and East Hart Road in the town of Turtle to check the welfare of 2 people standing near the roundabout with no vehicles. Deputies made contact with 65-year-old Dennis Draves of Clinton and his 38-year-old girlfriend, Virginia Hall. Hall showed signs of intoxication and was taken by ambulance to Beloit Memorial Hospital. Draves was arrested on a tentative charge of 8th offense operating while intoxicated.
We Energy's officials say the natural gas leak that caused 60 to 80 homes in Sun Prairie to evacuate Friday night was fixed later that night. We Energy says that Friday it discovered a small natural gas leak in addition to a leak of odorant. That's the chemical that makes natural gas detectable. Higher than normal levels of odorant were released into the air, making the smell highly notable throughout the area. We Energy says the odorant leak will be fixed tomorrow, and they are still investigating the cause of Friday's leaks.
Let's get a look now at your first alert weather. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is over in the Weather Center. Dave?
Mark, I do think that much of the rain is done for the time being. Now into tomorrow, that becomes a little bit of a different story with more showers and thunderstorms possible. But for now, Doppler track showing pretty quiet conditions for much of southern Wisconsin. We're watching a small batch of showers and thunderstorms closer to La Crosse, but I don't think they'll really have the steam to make it very far south into southern Wisconsin. Maybe some spots north of Madison picking up a few sprinkles this evening, but that is about it. Otherwise, we're seeing some breaks in those clouds in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam with some sunshine trying to peek through. Currently at 76 degrees, west-northwest wind at 6 miles per hour. That dew point still very humid in the upper 60s. Some other temperatures, 78 in the Dells, 81 in Boscobel, 80 in Platteville, and 81 in Janesville. Dew points are in the upper 60s and even still some 70s, so plenty of humidity, and that will be around tomorrow as well. This evening, mostly cloudy, warm, and humid with temperatures falling through the 70s. When I come back in just a few minutes, we will talk more about the shower chances tomorrow, but also some sunshine on the way. In your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Dave, we'll see you then. Police are still looking for the person who fired multiple shots inside WORT radio early Sunday morning.
Thankfully, everyone is okay, but there are still many unanswered questions. Jamie Perez is live at the radio station with the latest update. Jamie?
So police believe that this was not a targeted act on the media as a whole, but in response to that shooting, there's going to be some major changes made around here.
Second tune was by Diali Sissoko and Kaira Ba.
They're calling it a miracle.
Yes, we're very lucky. We're very lucky.
After a gunman opened fire inside this radio station,
Host of a public affair.
leaving shattered glass and bullet-pierced windows,
We'll go back to music.
the station quickly got back on the air.
We have a fusion of styles.
The board president and police believe this was not an attack on the media.
This is very likely targeted, not random. Certainly not a part of that larger national dialogue that we've been having recently about media, targeting media.
Whoever it was knew when and where to be to execute a shooting rampage.
There would be a program change at 3 o'clock, and so knew that that would be an appropriate time if they were trying to get in through the door.
While police look for the shooter, David says he's working on amping up security.
Begin recording, and we'll probably install a backdoor camera as well as a front door camera, and we're considering key card entry rather than code entry.
So this is the door that the shooter somehow snuck into. You can see that there is a key code pad here. They're thinking that maybe he either knew the key code, or when somebody walked in, they may have snuck in right behind him. You can also see that there is a camera just right up there. It's a surveillance video, but it does not record video, so they have no way to go back and look to see who it was to try to identify him. David also did add that there are several employees, disgruntled employees, who were recently let go, so police are looking into that as well.
But as you said, thankfully, no one was hurt. Jamie Perez reporting live. Thanks, Jamie.
Some South Madison residents woke up this morning to rain and a weather siren, even though there was no severe weather warning. A storm siren near South High Point Road and Midtown Road activated around 5 o'clock and intermittently turned on and off until about 6:40. Dane County Emergency Management had to work with Madison Police to identify the malfunctioning siren and turn it off. Officials say this was a very rare occurrence and that people should keep their trust in the siren system.
That's how rare this occasion is. The analogy of rolling snake eyes 3 times in a row is pretty accurate in terms of a siren activating like this. They're very rare, and plain and simple, it's just a piece of equipment malfunctioning.
Officials say the problem was within the control box on that specific siren only. A crew is working to make sure the siren is fully functional again.
A temporary policy at an apartment complex in Madison is upsetting tenants and raising questions about its legality.
Refke Terrace, a 60-unit building designed to house the chronically homeless, isn't allowing its residents to have guests over. Our Madeline O'Neill is here in the studio to explain. Maddie?
Yeah, the 30-day ban on guests follows a month full of police visits. In July, Madison police say they responded to 46 calls at the complex and 2 were stabbings. Refke Terrace opened in 2016 as a project to help the chronically homeless. Now the building's operator, Heartland Housing, has issued a 30-day temporary ban on all guests. And residents I spoke with say it's not fair to not allow visitors.
They keeping them away from me for no reason. They did nothing. I did nothing. You know, there's a couple of troublemakers in the building. Why do the whole building have to suffer? You know, I don't think that's right.
According to a Madison ordinance, landlords can regulate guests, but they can't completely prohibit a tenant from having all guests. And guest regulations must be in the lease. I spoke with the City of Madison's attorney's office today. They tell me that because the ban is temporary, it's a legal gray area, and that a court may or may not find the ban reasonable if it's for safety reasons. I've also reached out several times to Rethke Terrace's operator, Heartland Housing, and still haven't heard back. Coming up at 6, we'll tell you what the police department's role is in all of this.
All right, we'll see you at 6. Maddie, thank you. The candidates for U.S. Senate are last-minute campaigning tonight, just a week out from the primary election.
Both Republicans making an appearance at a business forum in Madison today. Rose Schmidt is in the news center with more on where they stand on tariffs and how they're affecting Wisconsin. Rose?
Well, Leah Vukmir and Kevin Nicholson are praising President Trump on his trade and tariff policies. The two Republican candidates spoke at a forum at the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce Policy Day. Vukmir is a nurse and state senator from Brookfield. Nicholson is a Marine Corps veteran and a businessman from Delafield. The Trump administration's increase in overseas tariffs has been a concern for business in Wisconsin, from pork and soybean farmers to motorcycle maker Harley-Davidson. Today, the candidates were asked what can be done to ensure that Wisconsin companies can sell the products overseas in a fair manner.
And I will have to listen to the farmers and all the different industries and how it impacts our state. But right now, most of the people that I'm talking to are willing to give this president some time to negotiate fairer deals.
And the goal should not just simply be, quote unquote, a level playing field. It should be to eliminate tariffs and to allow for actual free trade.
Both candidates spent their time criticizing Democratic U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin instead of attacking one another. Baldwin has said the president needs to deliver better trade deals that support Wisconsin farmers. Today, she was touring the state, stopping at Potosi, Gays Mills, and Cashton. Now, the winner of the Republican primary next week will face off against Senator Baldwin in November.
Rose Schmidt in the newsroom. Thanks, Rose.
Well, there's more to come on News 3 at 5. Up next, the trial for President Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, is underway. We'll have the very latest.
And the United States is reimposing sanctions on Iran. What leaders of the European nations are saying about the sanctions.
And on Wall Street today, stocks were up in moderate trading. The Dow Industrial is gaining 39. The S&P 500 was up 47. And the NASDAQ was up 47. S&P 500 up 10. Welcome back. The trial against President Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, has entered its second week.
Paula Reed has the latest from Alexandria, Virginia.
The tax and bank fraud trial of former campaign chairman Paul Manafort continues today. The trial got off to a late start this afternoon around 1 p.m. and defense attorneys cross-examined Manafort's former accountant, Cynthia Laporta. Last week, she testified that she altered Manafort's tax returns based on information she didn't actually believe to be true. Now, the jury also heard this afternoon from former deputy campaign chairman Richard Gates. Now, Gates entered a plea deal with special counsel after he and Manafort were charged together. He agreed to testify against Manafort in exchange for leniency in his own case. Now, if convicted, Manafort faces up to life in prison, but sources close to the case say he is banking on a presidential pardon. Paula Reed, CBS News, Alexandria, Virginia.
And Manafort's trial is expected to last through next week.
The United States is reimposing tough sanctions on Iran 3 months after pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal. President Trump signed an executive order today reimposing sanctions that targets Iran's automotive sector, metals and coal. Iran is also restricted from buying U.S. dollars. The U.S. had lifted previous sanctions on Iran when it entered the Iran nuclear deal in 2015. The president pulled the U.S. out of the agreement in May. The president urged all nations to follow the U.S.'s lead, warning those who don't risk severe consequences. But European foreign ministers say they deeply regret the U.S. action.
They fear that if they go along with the Trump administration and Iran then pulls out of the Iran nuclear deal, they fear that means a resumption of the Iranian nuclear program, and therefore there's a war.
The first round of sanctions take effect tomorrow, the second in November.
The National Park Service says 4 people have died in the crash of a sightseeing airplane in Alaska's Denali National Park after thick clouds hampered rescuers' response to a distress call. The agency says a 5th person aboard the plane carrying 4 Polish passengers is missing and presumed dead. The plane crashed around 6 p.m. Saturday near the top of a mountain ridge about 14 miles southwest of Denali, which is North America's tallest mountain. After the crash, the pilot reported by satellite phone that passengers suffered injuries.
The National Transportation Safety Board is on the scene of a small plane crash outside Los Angeles where 5 people were killed. Video of Sunday's plane crash in Orange County shows a small plane in pieces in the middle of a parking lot. All 5 people on board the Cessna 414 were killed. The Federal Aviation Administration says the pilot declared an emergency before crashing about a mile from the John Wayne Airport. The plane ended up hitting an empty parked car outside a Staples store and a CVS pharmacy.
Let's head out to the weather patio now. Dave Caulfield is watching the weather. Dave?
Well, Susan and Mark, it is still very humid out here. The rain may not be falling for most of us, but that doesn't really matter. When it comes to that humidity, it will be with us through tonight. Could actually cause some areas of fog overnight, and will be back with us tomorrow with the chances for some showers and thunderstorms. Here is what Weather Track is looking like right now. That humidity, as I mentioned, still with us. The front that caused all that rain south and west of Madison for southwestern Wisconsin, northeastern Iowa, also portions of northern Illinois just to our south and east. But another cold front coming in tomorrow will spark off some additional showers and thunderstorms. Could have some more heavy downpours embedded in those showers as well. Do think we'll start to dry out on Wednesday. So Doppler track showing those showers and thunderstorms generally to our south and east, a little bit closer to where that front is, and we do have that severe weather threat moving in that direction as well. But a couple of showers and thunderstorms still surviving across portions of Wisconsin, notably close to Camp Douglas, but maybe just some sprinkles over the next couple of hours for spots north of Madison. That's about it. Nothing too major, nothing like what we've seen over the past 24 hours. Look at those shades of red. That's radar estimated rainfall of about 2 to 4 inches, even locally about 5 to 6 inches possible just over the last day or so. At the Madison airport, we are now up to 1.16 inches of rain in the month of August alone, every day except for the 3rd, some sort of rain. And that is really a rainy start to this month. Hopefully we can get that sunshine in town, and that's what we have seen in Platteville over the past couple of hours. Blue sky, and you can see more sunshine than anything else right now on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam. I do think the rain chances start to dwindle down after we get through tomorrow. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, looking at mostly cloudy skies, still with that humidity in town. 78 degrees the high today. Normal is 80, so just a little bit below normal for this time of year. And temperatures in pretty similar territory tomorrow, but then I think we'll be above average for much of the next week, with temperatures approaching 90 by the time we get into the middle of next week. Summer not done yet, folks. Tonight, mostly cloudy with areas of fog developing with that humidity. Temperatures in the low 60s. For tomorrow, cloudy. Showers and thunderstorms developing mainly in the afternoon and evening. Highs should make it into the upper 70s once again. Future track showing pretty quiet conditions overnight, but then those areas of fog will set up, and could be a pretty foggy start for some of us. Then the showers and thunderstorm chances spark up during the afternoon and evening. Some heavy downpours possible as well. Maybe a gusty wind here and there, but nothing should be severe. You can see that downpour potential as we head into the next couple of days. Most of us will just see a couple of rain showers, but again, there is that possibility of some heavier embedded downpours in those showers and thunderstorms. Your 7-day forecast showing temperatures staying in the 80s for the middle of this week, and with a chance of rain on Thursday. After that, though, more dry days than not. The weekend looking very nice, dry, sunny, a little bit on the warm side, though, with highs in the mid-80s, and then we're approaching 90 degrees by the time we get to the middle of next week, with heat index values into the middle of next week in the mid-90s. So here's your first alert traffic update, taking a live look right now at the interstate at Wisconsin 73. That accident still in effect for portions of the Interstate I-39-90. That road is still closed between exit 156 and exit 147, and backups really past Edgerton to the south. So you're really going to want to plan an alternate route and try and avoid that at all costs. The Beltline actually not looking too bad right now. From east to west, just a couple of brake lights in a couple of spots. Really nothing too big to talk about. Verona Road to John Nolan Drive on the Beltline eastbound. That's only 5 minutes with an average speed of around 55 miles per hour. But look at that, the Beltline to Janesville, 51 minutes with an average speed of around 35 miles per hour. So hopefully that accident gets a little bit better over the next couple of hours. But right now, probably a good idea to plan an alternate route, especially if you're traveling out of Janesville.
All right, good advice. All right, thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Ahead at 5, researchers have developed a product they say could change the lives of nearly 2 million Americans who've lost a limb. We'll have that story when we come back.
News
Well, researchers have developed a first-of-its-kind prosthetic swim leg.
They say it could dramatically change the lives of the nearly 2 million Americans who've lost a limb. Kenneth Craig has more.
Kevin Vaughn is back in the water, swimming in a way he hasn't been able to since he lost his leg 7 years ago.
It's huge. I'm not just kicking with one leg anymore.
The 28-year-old is wearing the fin, a first-of-its-kind prosthetic leg, giving people like Kevin the ability to get in and out of water and move through it with ease.
Water comes off the angles here, through the holes, and allows for when you kick, you move forward.
It's the first amphibious prosthetic made with a 3D printer and is the creation of Northwell Health's Dr. Todd Goldstein.
This is the key component right here, right? Correct. This is all 3D printed here, and this is custom to their limb.
Kevin is part of a group testing the fin in a research study aimed at getting FDA clearance. His leg was amputated in 2011 after a roadside bomb severely injured him during his second tour in Afghanistan. The Marine spent 15 months recovering at Walter Reed.
Prior to the service, I played lacrosse, football, wrestling. Always swam at the beach pool. And after I got hurt, the first thing I wanted to do was just get back to that status again.
Kevin is active again with the help of various prosthetics.
The straight bar.
But when it comes to swimming, current waterproof legs have limitations.
It's just basically attaching a small anchor to your leg, and that's not going to be something that is beneficial.
The fin is designed to give swimmers a more natural sensation while swimming, and they don't have to switch out prosthetics when getting in and out of water.
Exciting?
Very exciting.
And what's it like to know that the leg was made with a 3D printer?
That just blows my mind. I'm mostly excited about being able to swim balanced again. Having that feeling of feeling like I have another leg again.
Kenneth Craig, CBS News, East Meadow, New York.
It is very cool.
Amazing technology. And another check of the weather when we come back.
Little break from the rain.
Yeah, for most of us, a few sprinkles possible for the next couple of hours in spots north of Madison, but that's about it. The rain does come back tomorrow afternoon with temps in the 70s.
All right.
All right, thank you, Dave. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you back here for News 3 at 6.